seconds to go.
Hello to the two fans,
5
and
seconds.
welcome. This is Chicago Ted coming to you with CEVO
Radiance
Season
ban.
6 Leviathan versus the Justice League.
Dyer's ban.
For our final day of the week, I couldn't have imagined a more fun
Radiance
matchup. Both of
ban.
these guys are just a hell of a lot of fun to watch play. Obviously, we got a bit of an underdog situation. The Justice League has been performing pretty well, but when you take a look at teams like Leviathan going and taking games off of higher up teams,
Radiance
and
pick.
you definitely got to see the Justice as the black sheep. But with that aside, we're just going to go straight on to the draft. Both these teams are going really quickly. I was actually the last one to load into this game, which is a very uncommon occurrence. So,
Dyer's pick.
I mean, yeah, we came in about a couple of bans in, but no matter, as we've got the Tide Hunter and Troll Warlord being banned out by Leviathan. Kind of odd, because I know both these teams like to run the Troll Warlord, and neither one really bans it out all that often. But the better Justice League, they're going to go for the Respect ban on the Pudge, keeping that away from Leviathan, and Brewmaster gets taken out as well. Starting it off with the Vengeful Spirit and Slark pickups, while Leviathan going for the coveted Juggernaut. This guy taking the meta by storm. Pick him up with a early Mask of Madness, and you're pretty much A-okay with the hero. With the increased crit chance, the attack speed works so well with him. And then, well, the already prevalent synergy with Omni Slash just makes it that much better. Slark will have a little bit of a difficult time trying to lock down this Juggernaut, but depending on the supporting cast that Leviathan picks up, he may end up finding his niche, but we'll have to see. Leviathan, though, go for the immediate Doom pickup, which I think completely tears apart this Slark pick. It's just you can't leap onto the Slark. All right, the Slark can't leap onto the Doom, rather. Because if he's not able to get his Shadow Word off, the Doom just flies out. And we saw it, if you guys were watching yesterday,
10 seconds to go.
It was the Doom pickup versus the Slark and E-Hug versus Dust, where Dust had an incredible early game rally, a lot of kills, a lot of advantage, and well, Doom at one point just literally took Slark out of the game. Midas and Devour allowed him to get that Aghanim Scepter up pretty fast, despite being on the weaker side of the advantage or of the golden XP grabs, and that just it hurt him so much, just to not be able to do too much. I mean, a Slark with Doom on him, especially an Ag's Doom, is completely gone. There was a bit of a mention of how earlier on with the non-Ag's Doom, Slark could just get out of vision and sit through the Doom duration, not really taking anything because he heals it right back up. But Aghanim Scepter gets rid of those passive buffs, and it lasts for a pretty damn long time and does a very sizable chunk of damage.
Dyer's ban.
This Doom is going to do really well versus Slark, depending on how ahead the Slark gets earlier on. But Batrider will be banned out by Leviathan. Justice League getting rid of the Lion.
10 seconds to go.
And nothing too surprising here, at least so far.
5 seconds.
These two bans, they just kind of say to me that Leviathan feels like the Justice League are going to go for that early aggression, pick-off style build where they pretty much give space to the Batrider to farm up his blink effect quickly and efficiently, and then once the blink comes out, you've got Slark with a blink or a Shadow Blade or whatever, and the Vengeful Spirit roaming around, and all you gotta do is blink in, lasso someone, you immediately blow them up, and the targets can range anywhere from the Juggernaut to the Doom to whatever Leviathan pick up in the next couple of picks, though. With two pretty heavy cores out right now, it'd be a little worrisome to go incredibly greedy. Invoker gets picked up by Leviathan, the Justice League looking for their fourth. And again, Invoker kind of runs with that whole ganking style that we would imagine. A cross-Wex Invoker, rather. Can Ghost Walk around, get the early Orchid of Malevolence, and Cold Snap down really anyone if you can get far enough ahead. So Leviathan fearing that prowess, and
reserve time.
With the last band coming out, we're going to go for our next couple of picks. Again, Leviathan probably going to go for some supports in the coming picks. They definitely need to even out these cores a little bit. And you can see that with the better Justice League's bans, the Lion and the Lich both targeting some pretty good laning supports that would give Leviathan a little bit of better laning presence. The Justice League, though, now have both of their possible supports being picked up, the Ancient Apparition and the Vengeful Spirit. A fairly dastardly roaming combo, a lot of right-click damage coming out between the Chilling Touch and the Vengeful Aura. Though it's percent based, which means it isn't as effective in the early game, the minus armor from the Wave of Terror
10 seconds
definitely
to go.
does help out, as well as the magic amp from the
5
Chilling
seconds.
Touch, or rather from the Ice Vortex. So a fairly decent roaming combo. We'll
Reserve
probably be
time.
seeing these guys finding a couple of kills. If you can get anyone with the magic missile, Slark getting the leash off, Chilling Touch on everyone, that is a very dangerous
pick.
combo to have to deal with. Leviathan, though, they're going to pick themselves up a Disruptor to try to disrupt this tri-lane here, and definitely goes pretty well with the Juggernaut. You can glimpse anyone back and then throw the Blade Fury on top of him, but doesn't quite have a good reliable stun. Plenty of damage, but nothing to lock anyone down outside of the kinetic field, which usually players, at least that I've seen, will
10
only get
seconds
1
to
point
go.
in that and prioritize maxing out the glimpse.
5 seconds.
Though I would imagine with this kind of lineup, yeah, they may want to go the other way.
Reserve time.
But it will definitely help. That 1 point in kinetic field, if they get it off with the Blade Fury, will definitely secure a couple of kills, at least an early kill, while the offlaner is just trying to scope things out, decide whether or not he can be aggressive. And we'll see what their next pick is going to be. And either they go for their second support here or try to draft themselves up a mid laner or offlaner, depending on how they want to run this Doom. If I were to make a guess, I'd say they throw him in the offlane. Maybe get a couple of points up in the jungle. I typically see Dooms get the level 4 in the jungle and then immediately rotate into the offlane. But he can start in the offlane if he wants, depending on whether the better Justice League want to run an aggressive tri-lane, or if they're going to run an aggressive tri-lane and have the Doom solo the safe lane. The better Justice League picked themselves up a mid bristleback, or at least that's where I imagine he's going to go, as most bristles deciding to run through that mid lane. It seems to be the more popular of the option, at least in the recent couple of games that I've watched. Just definitely able to tank through a lot and pick up a lot of regen on him. You don't really have to worry about him dying if he's active about turning around and turning face to the damage. Then he should be all right here in the mid lane. Definitely will be able to find some farm. Getting off those quill sprays now with increased damage, courtesy of the recent patch. And he's overall a very strong presence. Not really running the off lane much anymore, though. It definitely could work, or they could run him solo safe if they want to run the Venge, Ancient Apparition, Slark. Again, going back to the aggressive possibility. So we'll have to see. Their next pick will definitely give away what they want to do with this. And Leviathan, we'll see if they what they go for here. They're running low on reserve time right now, which could be an issue unless they want to go for the random strat. In which case, I wouldn't blame them. And no, they're going to go straight for the Earthshaker, pick up their second core. A reliable stun, a good block for the Blade Fury. Definitely synergizes well with the two heroes that they've got. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how they make their way around the map. Again, this is Leviathan going against the Justice League here and CEVO Dota 2 Season 6, Week 3-2, Day 3. As you can see up there in the nice, beautiful gold banner. And we're just hitting up into reserve time again for the Justice League. As I go ahead, I forgot to tweet this one out, so I'm going to be just doing that right now. So sorry if you hear the keyboard tapping there. Multitasking is not really my thing. I'm rather bad at it, but bear with me here, as we just need to go for play CEVO-M, which is the Twitch channel here.
Radiant's pick.
And we're good. Tweet out, ready to go. So the Justice League, they go ahead and they ban out the Ember Spirit Templar Assassin, getting some hate from Leviathan. I think that is the 4th time in a row I've seen the Templar Assassin get banned out last by the Dire. Yeah, by the Dire, so I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. Maybe it's just
10 seconds to
second
go.
nature. Or I definitely think it would go fairly well with the team of the
5
Better Justice
seconds.
League, though I still think that this Bristleback is going to take the mid, in which case maybe TA wouldn't be able to find her niche,
Reserve
but
time.
it goes well with the whole minus armored vibe that they've got
10
going on.
seconds
Shadow
to
Fiend's
go.
still in the field if they feel like they want to run that, but instead they go for the Venomancer, which leads me to
Dire's
believe
pick.
that maybe this won't be the
Someone's
Bristleback
having technical
in the mid,
difficulties.
and instead going to be the solo Bristle with a Venomancer mid, which is more popular than either Bristleback, at least nowadays, and definitely the hero drafted to win the lane. Leviathan looking at their last pick.
10
Only have 3
seconds to
seconds of
go.
reserve time, so in total they've got about 10 seconds left to choose
5
this
seconds.
hero, and they're going to go for the Queen of Pain. Oh boy, I think I saw either one of these players playing it, or at least they watched it being played last night in NEL, and the Queen of Pain just wrecked face. Definitely, it wasn't a major change that she got. Okay, it was pretty major, but it's definitely making itself apparent. She is a great burst nuker, and overall just has a lot of map presence, a lot of ganking potential. Kind of works the same way as a Puck, actually, except without the real crowd control. She kind of relies on the team for that, but I mean, you've got an Earthshaker and Disruptor for that. You are all good. Catch everyone in the Static Storm with the Kinetic Field up, throw out the Sonic Wave, and, well, no real issues there. So, as we switch on to the end game, we're ready to go here for
Everybody
Leviathan
get
versus
set.
the Justice League. Leviathan with Nusham Dota spearheading the lineup with the Earthshaker, Shredder on the Juggernaut, Chibi on the Queen of Pain, Flying Zebra
Let's keep
are
it
standing
clean,
on the
folks.
Disruptor. And last but not least, we've got Jenkins, the big man on the Doom. You can see all these guys with the Twitter handles up. For those who don't know, these guys trying to be very active out in their public relations here. So they all have Twitters. Tweet at them if you want. Follow them if you want. They're a great bunch of guys and definitely a really strong team. The Justice League, though, is going to have Rainbow Dashing here on the Vengeful Spirit with Das Bearju on the Ancient Apparition. Banana Slam Jamma picking up the Slark in the mid lane with Shay, not in the mid lane, sorry.
30
Shay
seconds
Doctor
to
on the
showtime.
Bristleback, and the actual mid laner is going to be God's Hand, which I think is a newer player for them. I'm not quite sure. Don't quote me on that one, but regardless, we've got this tri-lane
What's with all
from
the scribbling?
Leviathan, or from the Justice League. They're going to go ahead and try to secure up the bounty rune. Meanwhile, we've got a little bit of an aggro Observer Ward here being placed down by
And away we go.
by Nusham. Just wants to keep some vision up, and just a quick bit of interesting knowledge here. This is an off-lane
Radiant on
Earthshaker,
one
which means the
side,
Queen of Pain
Dire on the other.
playing mid. Okay, so it's just going to be a jungle Doom. I would imagine this Earthshaker's only going to hang here for some quick levels, and Doom will pick up the reins again once he hits that level 6 that we expected. Pretty much, again, standard stuff that we've been seeing in the past, and no stranger to it. Looking at the mid lane, I gotta favor Queen of Pain just a little bit. Has a lot more instant killing potential just because of her damage, her spells being more high burst, whereas God's Hand is more over time. But if he's able to get some good zoning pressure off a couple of points into the ward so that Chibi can't burst him down quickly, as well as being able to farm efficiently here, he should be fine. But he's 0-0 right now, struggling to find that first last hit. Chibi is going to have an interesting time continuing to, yeah, he's just denying everything right now. God's Hand finally getting a last hit. Banana Slam Jamma here, though, should have a decent time versus Nusham Slark. Definitely have been not too difficult of a matchup for Nusham, but Slark will still farm as easily as Slarks typically do. And once Nusham rotates out and starts roaming to gank and the Doom takes the reins, Banana Slam Jamma should have a very easy time. That is until the level 6 comes out, but you've got 2 supports to help him out throughout, so should be no real trouble. Taking a quick look up to the top lane, Shea Doctor, again, not the worst offlaner for this. Hold on, actually, we might have a gank on the bottom lane. No, so back up to the top. Shea Doctor should be able to sustain through a lot. Gonna struggle to find some last hits early, but if he can get some levels, get that level 6 up quickly and efficiently, he'll be just fine here, as the Warpath will help him deal some pretty crazy damage later on. They've got plenty of slows, plenty of minus armor to really stack with the Bristleback and make things easier on him. God's Hand, though, going to continue to get the push off in the top lane. Magic Missile flies out, and Nusham not doing too much, and a double damage secured by Das Berju with Chilling Touch is almost a triple damage. But it doesn't look like he wants to make an effort onto Shibby. Queen of Pain having Blink will make things very difficult, and things will just remain to be pretty passive as we hit the 2.5-minute mark. A quick pause comes out, as is expected. Shredder did mention how he might have to pause a couple of times throughout this game. Maybe ordering a pizza. Whatever the case, we'll go ahead and spare him a couple of minutes. But again, things going relatively quiet for the first couple of minutes into the game. Oh, maybe I was right with the pizza thing. I didn't expect to actually be right on that one. Anyway, looking around the map, I guess I have to really look at the golden XP, and yeah, even that is fairly close. We're only 2.5 minutes into the game, but things are going relatively evenly. But Leviathan, I feel like, will just naturally pull ahead because their heroes are able to farm the map much quicker than the Justice League. What's going to happen to secure the Justice League in early game is get select pretty much free farm and allow him to jungle up quickly, and then throw Ancient Apparition in this lane to farm up maybe a quick Midas or something along those lines, as Das Berju might be getting very over aggressive here. Gets spotted by Nusham, and Chibi is there close by, but it doesn't look like anything is going to amount out of this one. They just let the double damage wear off, and Ancient Apparition is just caught in a pretty poor position. But he should be able to make his way out of there, navigate through the trees, and get back to friendly territory in no time at all. Yeah, so Banana Slam Gemma farming up incredibly well. He's got 21 last hits, 7 denies, and uncontested right now in this lane. Shouldn't have too much of a problem getting up his core items, but he is going to have to deal with the Doom on the Doom. Speaking of, he's sitting at level 3 right now, so keeping up with the minute mark in levels, which is always good of a jungler. And he's stacking up camps, so when he's got his Devourer up, he can just go ahead and take the Centaur. But instead, it looks like, oh, he's going to have a Tornado, so he can just take that stack with no trouble. Pretty decent move by him. I think actually that's what he's been doing, getting a lucky Wildkin and using that to farm up. If there's any team that never really... that always surprises me with their usage of the jungle is always Leviathan. Like, sure, a lot of Dooms would think to do this kind of thing, but really, it's just interesting to watch how they utilize their skills and just utilize the jungle overall. He's constantly stacking up camps, by the way. Has a nice triple stack here in the hard camp. The medium camp he's taking with the help of the Scorched Earth, keeping him at a very high amount of HP, and he'll just be able to take down this camp as soon as he hits the 200 mana point, which I imagine should be pretty soon. We've got to close in onto the mid lane. God's Hand might be in a lot of trouble. Burst comes out from Shibby with a Scream of Pain. He's going to get hit by the lightning, and, well, he can't really do much, but try to get as much damage off as possible. And with the damage over time, it might be there. They're going to throw out the Wave of Terror as well, but he bottles himself up. Has a Sonic Wave if they get a little bit too close, and he'll just blink himself away. So a 1-0. The Justice League not quite reacting to that one as quick as they could, and God's Hand will take or give away the first blood. Immediately rotates himself back in the lane, though I'm not quite sure the Justice League can really do anything about Shibby right now. He's got Blink ready to go, and with the Sonic Wave is going to be massively difficult to kill. We're going to look back. Where is our Doom player? He's going back to the fountain so he can get up that quick XP, or a quick mana, so he can go back to the jungle and take those creep camps. As it looks like in the top lane, we might see a bit of a skirmish breakout. Chilling Touch flies out onto the supports, and they make their way around. They get spotted by the creeps, but do they do anything about it? Rainbow Dashing will go out with a magic missile onto Flying Zebra. Plenty of damage to fly out, as the Midas armor is real with the Chilling Touch, and they will bring him down. The Sealing Ward is way far back. Maybe they can clean up Das Bearju, though. A lucky crit from Shredder will secure that one, and now he chases, but with the Healing Ward about half duration and the tower getting close, they decide to keep the aggression back. So support for a support is what it ends up being. But in the meantime, all that's happening is SM Jammer is constantly farming up in the bottom lane. This does give a kill advantage to Shredder, though, as he goes 1-0 here in the laning phase. And keeping up with the last hits means his net worth is going to be a little bit higher than his opposing Slark. As it looks like Rainbow Dashing and Das Bearju parking themselves up in the top, maybe trying to run a pseudo-aggro try here. And looking back at Jenkins, he's going to go ahead and finish up this creep camp. A lot of gold going his way, in fact. He picks up the recipe for his Hand of Midas, only 120 gold off from the Glove of Haste. And now a complete rotation coming around. The target is Shredder. Can they find him, though? There is a Fisher ready to go and will block off the supports. He doesn't end up throwing it, though, holding on to his mana. And that will be the end of really the that attempt, at least. Maybe they get themselves grouped up again and go for it again, but this Fisher is looming over their shoulders. They don't exactly know how they can initiate on this, because one quick Fisher to block them off right here, and that's pretty much the end of that. So have to keep our eye on that one, as Jenkins taking another camp, has his Hand of Midas ready to go, will make his way back to the creeps and pick up this nice, tasty Hellbear Smasher. So he's going to just accelerate and farm from this point on, picking up a TP scroll. He's got his level 6, but didn't put any points in Doom. At least not yet. I think he's got it hanging on. In the top lane, Omni-Slash will fly out. Das Bearju getting low. Will juke around the trees. What is that melee range? And Shredder just goes ahead and crits him down and brings him to the fountain. That makes it 1 for 3, as Leviathan take a nice, comfortable kill lead right now, and I imagine the golden XP lead will show a similar story. Only about 400 gold, but 2,000 experience in their favor right now. Tells a pretty devastating tale for the Justice League, as they can't quite seem to rotate around as effectively. The supports haven't been getting a lot of experience. Eventual Spirit's still sitting on level 3, and Ancient Apparition, yeah, he's about equal with that one. So both of the supports pretty under-leveled, whereas Leviathan are splitting their levels quite effectively. God's Hand will take the tower, but an immediate Sonic Wave from Shibby will give proper vengeance for their buildings.
I'll take that.
And that'll be another kill going on the board for the Leviathan. And the Justice League, though they are seeming a little bit more and more flustered as the game goes on, as they can't quite seem to bring themselves those equalizing kills, as Banana Slam Jammer makes his way to the jungle, and as noted, Ancient Apparition will go to the lane to try to farm up a Hand of Midas to get his Aghanim Scepter out earlier and earlier. Teleport rotation comes up from God's Hand. Can they clean up Shredder? He does have a Blade Fury and a Healing Ward, and now Shea Doctor will start to get himself close the distance, but Nusham hanging in the wings, ready to throw out a Fisher if he needs to stop the aggression. In fact, it looks like all of Leviathan are making their way up top to host an offensive. And Shea Doctor and God's Hand, they have to be really careful right now. They've got the wards. They're planting themselves here. But with the support rotations in, it's essentially a 3 for 2, maybe a 3 for 2.5, as they've got all these wards helping them out. Rotation around, coming in. Flying Zebra and Nusham. The wards can't spot him out because of the smoke. Now they get revealed. Kinetic Field will stop the retreat with the Static Storm. God's Hand trying to get out the Poison Nova will finally do so. And with the Poison also flying out, they should clean up Flying Zebra. Shea Doctor wants more. Shredder with the Blade Fury. Shea Doctor just going to die to the tower. So Venomous Gale doing work there, but not quite able to secure the kill on 2. Only find the Disruptor, making it a 2 for 1. Support and Bristleback for support. Das Bearju into trouble in the bottom lane. The Cold Feet, he tried to get it off so that he would be able to survive, but it wasn't quite enough. And That'll be another kill, 2 for 7. And the Justice League just falling further and further down the trench as Leviathan grabbing a larger
Radiant's
and
bottom
larger
tower's seen better
advantage.
days.
Taking a look at net worth, and Slark still has the top there, but
Radiant's
Slam
gone
Jam is
and
still
fortified
farming
their
up
structures.
quickly and
Radiant's
effectively
top tower
as
is
he does,
hurting.
again, migrate to the jungle, still maintaining pretty even farm. Able to heal up between camps with his passive is incredible for him, as just bursting down creep camps with that Dark Pack. Very nice farm coming out from him. Shredder trying to do the same thing, except he's got the Mask of Madness ready to go, allowing him to take the creep camps just as quickly and efficiently. Maybe not as, but pretty damn close. And he'll be able to take Roshan very soon, too, as his Yasha will be soon to fly. They've got the Magic Missile flying out. He doesn't have enough mana to get the Blade Fury off, but does have the TP scroll. And he'll get himself away as a similar rotation on the Das Berju. Cleans him up before he gets anywhere close to the Midas. Buys a Glove of Haste, but no recipe in sight for him.
Dire's top tower.
And that'll delay
You
it
know the
for
drill.
quite a long time. At least until the 20-minute mark. Maybe 18 is when we see that Hand of Midas
Dire's
fly
top
out.
tower's getting
That is
beat
a very,
down.
very difficult thing for Ancient
Can't do
Apparition to
nothing
have to
about
deal
Dire's
with.
structures
Because
right
later that
now.
Midas comes out, it
Trouble
gets
brewing at Radiant's
exponentially
bottom
later
tower.
for the Aghanim Scepter,
Dire might
because
wanna
right
buy
now
their top
he
tower.
can find himself being able to find farm in lane, maybe save a couple of games. But later on in the game, that farm is going to go the way of his cores. It doesn't really get split up as evenly, and he has to be more careful of incoming ganks. So he won't be able to find that farm to support his Hand of Midas as effectively. And these ward micro, God's Hand,
Dire's lost the
keeping
top
Nushin from
tower.
being able to deny it, will pick up the tower up top. And this is when he starts to park himself in a different lane to try to get the last tier 1 remaining. Banana Slam Jam in a little bit of trouble. Has to pop out the Shadow Dance, but cannot get it off. In fact, the Sonic Wave was there anyway. And Shibby will pick up the kill for Banana Slam Jamma to put the score at 2 for 9. And the team fight recap, team in air quotes there. Shibby's going to continue to chase on to Shea Doctor, but realizing his damage isn't quite there, has an Orchid of Malevolence coming out very soon as Rainbow Dashing may be in a little trouble top. Ends up being a no-go. Das Berju taking a lot of damage from the Scream of Pain. In comes Shea Doctor though, but Das Berju just gets cleaned to bits. A blink out from Shibby isn't going to mean much, and a teleport from Flying Zebra will get him out of there as well. So again, another just unanswered kill coming out from Leviathan.
That's 4 in a row. How
And
about
Shredder will find a kill somehow onto Rainbow Dashing.
that? Radiant's top tower.
That's a
is
very
taking
interesting
hits.
kill there. I mean, Omni Slash is a hell of a drug. And comes Banana Slam Jamma though, pops out the Shadow Blade, and will go on to Shredder. Has to pop his Blade Fury to get away here. Shadow Dance to keep Banana Slam Jamma on the chase. One more leap is all he needs. Will miss it. And not able to close the distance. This Mask of Madness paying dividends right now. And comes Rainbow Dashing though on the Flying Zebra. Will try to find a kill there. The Magic Missile flies out. And Shea Doctor looking for more, but the Fisher, again, that massive block. Banana Slam Jamma looking for the lead, doesn't even need it. 3 hits and he's dead. Flying Zebra will fall victim to the Slark as we see another kill might be happening here. Shibby looking to try to find something, but ends up getting gangbanged and will have to back herself out of this one. As Justice League take a nice kill for the board, they're 3 and 11, but kills right now mean the world to them. Shibby could be in a little bit of trouble, but again, Blink gives himself away. How's his Orchid timing? He's looking 200
Dire's
gold
top
away from that
tower,
one, so
you know the
it'll be
drill.
coming out pretty soon. Yasha has since been finished on to Shredder. Maybe looking for the popular S&Y build. Courier bringing out a point booster, though, which kind of hints at the fact that maybe he wants to go for that Aghanim Scepter. Speaking of Ags, Doom going to be going for that one. Ice Blast flies out. But Banana Slam Jamma opting not to go again, sitting on that Shadow Blade. 1300 gold on top of that. Rainbow Dashing
Guess
with the
what's
Arcane
happening
Boots.
to Dire's bottom tower.
God's Hand looking to farm up the Ancients, looking for an Aghanim Scepter of his own. Vanguard finished by Shea Doctor, probably going to be picking up a Crimson Guard soon. An Ancient Apparition still nowhere close to the Hand of Midas. Earthshaker Looking for the blink, but still ways away, opting to go for the arcane boots first. Flying Zebra, looking relatively poor for a support, only got the bracer. But the Orchid has been finished onto Chibi Dota. And another just solo kill that shouldn't have happened. Shredder popping out another Omni Slash, another kill. This time on the Crimson Guard building Bristleback. In the mid lane, though, Rainbow dashing could fall victim to Chibi. He needs one more Scream of Pain. The Orchid, though, is not going to be enough. Oh, okay, the dagger is going to be enough. They're going to try to bottle him up between procs. And actually, this could be enough to keep him alive. It will be enough to keep him alive. Some good teamwork coming out from God's Hand. And he won't die to the Queen of Pain, but still has to make his way back to base and still using up time to do that.
Breaking down the radiant structures like this.
Tower will get clipped in the top lane. They've got an Ice Blast flying through. On top of a Mask of Madness, Shredder is going to deal a bit more damage, but the tower falls regardless. There's no follow-up to try to get any kills. Banana Slam Jam is sitting with a double damage in the enemy jungle, but can't quite find anyone to initiate on.
Tower's in bad shape.
Tower Shaker flies through, looking for Fisher, and will get the block off on a couple of creeps, but doesn't end up connecting on a Banana Slam Jamma. Dasperju in the bottom lane could be in a lot of trouble here. Is in a lot of trouble. Chibi goes in, finds a kill. Unstoppable for him. And the skill is called Blink, and that is what it takes to miss a kill from the Queen of Pain. All you do is blink, and they're gone. So Leviathan taking a comfortable lead right now. 3,000 gold, 5,000 experience, but at 20 minutes, that is not as much as the graphs would make it seem. Shredder, though, will find an early Roshan. Early being 17 minutes, so not exactly early, but that's going to go his way. And it's definitely a nice Roshan to grab. A good Aegis of Immortality will win you pretty much the next team fight if you use it right. But yeah, Roshan falls really quickly, but this might be an engagement in the mid lane. As Banana Slam Jamma goes in, do they get a counter to him? He gets into Shadow Dance too quickly, and Jenkins might fall too quick as well, but no, he gets away with the Scorched Earth. In comes an Ice Blast, though. Secure kill on the Earthshaker. Banana Slam Jamma, though, is now dead, as they find the vision for the glimpse back. And that's a 1-for-1 Earthshaker for Slark. Definitely not the trade that you want
Radiant's bottom tower.
if you're the Justice League. And another double damage rune spawning. This time is going to go the way of Chibi, which most definitely means the next kill he goes on, or the next enemy he goes on, will end up dropping. As Shea Doctor parks himself in the top lane, pops out the
Radiant's mid tower's getting banged
chainmail, so definitely going to be going for that Crimson Guard.
Bust down radiant structures now.
Ice Blast into the mid lane, trying to find Shredder. Will connect, but they don't have the follow-up to do anything. Chibi Dota popping the double damage, going to the bottom tier 1. They've got to teleport in from Shea Doctor. But he has to be careful. I think Chibi definitely has it in him to get the kill. In comes the teleport, though, to back him up, and that'll be the end of that. Tower not quite in deny range. So they got that going for them. In fact, Chibi isn't backing away from the jungle just yet, making a pilgrimage towards the mid lane. If he finds Rainbow dashing, this could be a disaster for the Venge. And it looks like he'll do so. Pops in with the, well, don't even need to cast that. He just drops. It disintegrates from the double damage, the Scream of Pain, everything going against him. And they popped out the Orchid for good measure, so they couldn't even put out the Magic Missile. It comes an Ice Blast, but again, there's no follow-up for this. They take another tier 1 tower.
Them Dire buildings are tough as nails for now.
In the bottom lane, God's Hand trying to find a tier 1 of his own. Omni Slash flies through. God's Hand trying to get close to creeps, and it works. Only to a certain extent, though. Pops out the Venomous, or the Poison Nova. Isn't able to get anything off on. And Shredder dropping fairly low to that, but they've got the Healing Ward out, and they weren't able to get a creep to attack it. Flying Zebra could just drop anyway, though. He's getting low, but no, you cannot die to the Poison Nova itself. Needs some other damage tick on you, so. Unfortunate for the Justice League there. They give away 1-0. And they don't even get the tower. It was a deny from Flying Zebra. So, great awareness. The Wards just not quite doing what they need to do there. And from the Justice League, they just need to rally themselves up again. I mean, they are not too far behind. Again, 5,000 now gold, 7,500 experience is not a hill that you look at and say it's unpassable. You can definitely overcome this, but you just got to keep your team fights, clean up your team fights a little bit, and get your items out. I mean, they've got an entire jungle. The map control isn't gone just yet. A tier 1 still stands in the bottom, as well as a tier 2 being relatively healthy. And they've got plenty of de-warding going on. So they don't quite have wards, but these towers are really all they need to maintain this map control here in the jungle. And now with the ward going up, they do have vision of incoming intruders. They've got nice control, and they should be able to use that to farm up. But if they continue to try to take poor fights, then they definitely will not get anywhere. Banana Slam Gemma maybe feeling like this is the one. Will get spotted by a Sentry Ward, though, and immediately doom. This is an Aghanim Scepter finish, which means Banana Slam Gemma is most certainly dead. Rainbow Dashing coming in, but he'll just go ahead and die one by one as an Omni Slash is spent, and the tier 1 will drop, essentially destroying their control of this half of the jungle. The bottom tier 2, though, if this goes down, it's a disaster for the Justice League, because that's what they need to get themselves back in this. But I don't think Leviathan are going to give them any space right now, as they're going full 4-man down here. With the only one not in participation is Shibby, who can get down fairly quickly if he wants to. Has an Aghanim Scepter completed, a Bounty Rune in his inventory, could get a Haste Rune if he wants, and well, that'd be all she wrote if that happens. But instead, probably just going to make this direct rotation down to the bottom.
Radiant's bottom tower ain't a pretty sight right now.
This tower is going to die before she even needs to get there, so right now Leviathan are sitting on a good chunk of the map, as there's plenty of farm, plenty of rotation ability, and no real stress. In comes Banana Slam Gemma looking for Shibby. They've got an Orchid of their own. Can they quite do the damage? Another Orchid flies out. Can the Ice Blast connect? It does not. And that would have been the kill if it had. But Shibby getting himself away. A Fisher will block out. Banana Slam Gemma pops out the Omni Slash, but he will pop himself into a Shadow Dance. Shredder, not any stranger to being aggressive, though. The Aegis of Immortality has gone away, with Roshan coming back up fairly soon. Healing Ward goes down to keep their teammates alive, so they continue this push into the mid-tier 2 tower. And Justice, I mean, it's not really optimal for them to contest this, but they kind of have to at this point. Losing any more towers in this area will pretty much destroy their ability to even leave their base. As Banana Slam Gemma could be in a lot of trouble. Jenkins, all he needs is a Doom, and he'll get it off. The range is there. The vision, a little shoddy, I guess, but he finds it, and that is an easy kill for him. Jenkins will find the Slark, and now it's a 4 versus 5 here in the mid lane, effectively destroying the Justice League's chance of even trying to defend this one. You can see just that 800 gold swing from that kill alone is pretty spectacular, judging by how ahead Leviathan is. Ice Blast flies out, will connect on the Shredder, doesn't take the damage because of the Blade Fury. But Shredder blinks, or Shibby blinks himself out of there, so he doesn't even get hit by it, and the tier 2 stands. But not for very long. It's more of a delay than it is anything else. Any pull around right now would have to come quick, as this Doom is quickly and wildly getting out of control. Same with the Queen of Pain. Both have Aghanim Scepters, so both can deal a ton of damage in a very relatively short amount of time. But Leviathan are doing the smart thing. They're spreading out, farming up the map again, and just making sure that they don't take any engagements that they're not 100% on. And the more they starve out the Justice League, the better chance they have of winning. Banana Slam Gemma going to go in. He needs to get an Orchid off, but he doesn't quite find it. And Shredder will back himself away, using the Blade Fury to secure his escape. Banana Slam Gemma making his way up, though. he needs to be incredibly careful. One blink doom and he's gone. In fact, it could be coming out soon as Banana Slam Gem. He's going to go on to Jangron. Nusham finds the kill, but the Doom immediately comes out. In the meantime, Juggernaut going ham on to Shade Doctor. Will find Rainbow Dashing as well. Swaps himself out of the kinetic field, but it's not going to do too much as Shredder is hot on his tail. And Shivy actually comes in, wants to kill, pops out the Sonic Wave because whatever, 40-second cooldown. And that's a 3 for 1. And Leviathan are just digging deeper and deeper into this pit of advantage that they've got. 12,000 gold, 15,000 experience. Now we're approaching unwinnable territory for the Justice League, but still they trek on, showing amazing resolve and a lot of heart. And I gotta say, they did have some points in this game where they really felt like they knew what they were doing, they had a plan. But it's just fallen apart at the hands of this Doombringer. And as we mentioned in the draft, Doom just has so much advantage over the Slark. It's rather amazing how much a Doom can really screw him over. And this Doom got his Midas out in decent timing, had his Ags ready to go, and now is just sitting on a kit of great items. So there really doesn't feel like much that Justice League can do, but no game is unthrowable. And now an Orchid flies out on the Shredder. They have an Ice Blast. They don't even need it. They will clean him up, and that's a godlike spree going the way of Slark. A nice, I guess, 1 point from a 1.5 thousand gold. He'll pick himself up the recipe for the Skull Basher.
Radiant's top
and
tower
should have the rest of it with the rest of his gold. That is a very nice pickup for him. God's Hand. Still trying to find some farm here off the map. Had his Aghanim Scepter ready to go for a long period of time, but no other items on top of it. About 2k gold is his pot. And Shea Doctor, instead of finishing the Crimson Guard, will go for the Blade Mail. Try to secure them at least a decent advantage in a mid-tier, mid-game fight, but I'm not quite sure if it's going to make the difference. It may make an impact, but we'll have to see just how big. As Das Berju has the Midas, has had it complete for a while, and he's looking for that Aghanim Scepter. It will be an invaluable pick, as I'm pretty sure there was a stat that flew yesterday, 65% win rate with the Aghanim Scepter Ancient Apparition. And games like this kind of skew that statistic because they're so far behind right now, but I mean, that stat takes into account all types of games. Aegis of Immortality will again see himself in the inventory of Shredder with the Bash found. He's got a slot, 2,300 gold. He'll have his Abyssal up very quickly.
The Dire took down old Roche.
And the rest of them will just make their way into the enemy jungle here. Leviathan still not going for the jugular just yet. They are playing it passively, playing it safely. And this is a team that is known to just be crazy aggressive, so it's kind of surprising that they don't just continue to kill and kill and kill and kill. But the Justice League are turtling fairly effectively, keeping the Plague Wards up so that towers don't drop without a fight. And now, Sonic Wave flies out to Rainbow Dashing, pretty much halves his HP pool. And that draws enough attention away from mid lane to give Shredder a white card to just go in and try to get some quick and early damage on this one. Now, an Ice Blast flies out, but the tower's already gone. The Plague Wards aren't really doing enough damage to make a difference. Even though they are max, they don't completely bring down anyone. It's more of a slow, steady death. As Flying Zebra makes his way down towards the bottom, looks for anyone that he can try to glimpse out of base. Shredder comes down with a healing ward, Jenkins and Nusham at his side. And Aghanim Scepter's still a long ways away for the Ancient Apparition.
The Dire might want to mine their top tower.
Now they're going to go up onto the tower. Shredder making his way in. He goes in with the Omni Slash on the Shea Doctor, but instead jumps out away. Where the hell is he going? Goes back to creeps, I guess. Turns on to Shade Doctor, though, again. Finds the right clicks and will bring him down. Meanwhile, Shibby will get Dasperju. God's Hand dropping quick to Shredder. Still has an Aegis for mortality, so he's not really worried about dying right now. Will pop the Aegis. Shade Doctor had bought back, so if he dies again, this is a real big issue for him. Shredder goes in with the Blade Fury, will dodge out the magic missile. Tower doesn't go down. They drop 1 for 2 plus a buyback. But Leviathan backed themselves up again. Jenkins actually taking a lot of damage from that one, so. I guess, again, playing it safe for them is the better of 2 options. But it's still, it's very slow play right now. 31 minutes in, 8 and 25. The Golden XP grabs rapidly approaching the 20,000 point. Might find a little bit of Leviathan in the jungle. Banana Slam Jamma taking a huge amount of damage. Will regen a lot of it back up. Pops out the Orchid. Shibby's just going to drop here. And that is 800 gold face value plus the advantage gold. Banana Slam Jamma might be looking for more, but Shredder, he has to be very careful because Shredder does have that Omni Slash. And he'll just go ahead with the Blade Fury as the Shadow Dance is ready to go for Banana Slam Jamma. Back towards the mid, Rainbow Dashing and Shade Doctor trying to get some D-warding up, but not quite finding anything just yet. An Observer Ward is covering Dasperju, who is about 1,000 gold now away from the Aghanim Scepter. But if he's able to complete it before the game ends, that'd be pretty interesting. Judging by how slow Leviathan are playing, though, I would imagine it may come out at least in the last couple of minutes, but. Ice Blast will fly out, hits Shredder, dead in the face, but just Shade Doctor isn't quite able to dive as far as he'd like. Fisher flies out, keeps God's Hand in place, and in comes Shredder looking for the Omni Slash. Gets himself into the trees, though. Shade Doctor might be so lucky, though. Omni Slash flies out into him, and he just stands still for now, taking a lot of it. But he dies to the final, or one of the final slashes coming out. Only 2 more left. He actually tanked through a lot of that one. Rather tanky Bristleback, but it wasn't quite enough. Banana Slam Jamma looking for Jenkins. In comes God's Hand, though. Throws out the Poison Nova. Maybe to bait the Doom here. A swap out to cancel the TP. Doom's BKB is going to run out soon, and the leash is ready to go. They're just going to go straight on him. They'll bring him down. 371 gold, and Banana Slam Jamma finding a killing spree. But not just any killing spree. A killing spree on heroes with lots and lots of gold to give away. So from those kills, even though they got all that gold, the grab's still looking pretty flat. But flatlining is good if you're this far behind,
Radiant's
I guess.
mid-towers
Slam Jamma looking for Shredder. Will go in, immediately gets a bash off. Will have to pop himself in the Shadow Dance. There is a Fisher. Echo Slam flopping out. They will put out an Orchid onto him, but immediately dispels of it. Now he's trapped inside of the Static Storm. Will go down, buys himself back immediately, but Leviathan are rather healthy right now. Shibby, 30 seconds before he's got another Sonic Wave. Out comes an Ice Blast, though. Is this Ag Scepter ready? It is not quite. A swap out brings Nushan back into the action. And he'll go down, but at what cost? We've got an Omni Slash flying through the 3 heroes. Ghost Scepter gets used by Rainbow Dashing, glimpsed back into the hands of Shibby to gather another kill for that. Shade Doctor looking to try to punish this, but Shibby will be able to blink himself away. Trapped by creeps, though. Shade Doctor is catching up. Blink off cooldown, though. He'll be able to get himself away in due time, and that'll be another that. Banana Slam Jamma, though, constantly chasing, though. Orchid flies out, but a BKB was finished by Shibby. Ice Blast flies out, but not going to connect. Meanwhile, Jenkins going in on the Tier 3 tower. Anyone with a teleport scroll to react to this one. It looks like Dasperju and Shade Doctor all have it, and he'll blink himself away regardless. He looked like he wanted to go for the courier for a split second there, but blinks himself to back himself out, and that'll be the end of his run up onto the high ground. Puts a couple of auto attacks in the tower, but nothing too substantial. Shredder going ahead and shredding down the creep camps. 5,400 gold He's going to buy an Abyssal Blade right
Something
here.
bad's
Oh,
happened to the
no!
Radiant's courier.
That was the Scotty, or at least the Point Booster and the Orb of Venom, being taken away from Banana Slam Jamma. It's not too critical as he doesn't have his first Ultimate Orb yet, so when he finds the gold for that, he should have enough gold. Or the courier should be back. And think of it this way. It's a free trip back to the fountain. Only delayed by 2 minutes. No real trouble there. Axe Scepter was finished by Ancient Apparition, though. So that is a huge plus for the Justice League. The net worth, though, top 3 are on the side of Leviathan. Going to gloss over the items really quick. Manta, Ags, Abyssal. Mask of Madness phase done on Shredder. Nusham with the blink, the eye, or the gem of True Sight. Jenkins looking at a plate mail on top of that. Could either go with Salkuras or Shivas. I would imagine Shivas would be the option. Flying Zeba with the Force Staff ready to go. And Chibi, Ags, Orchid, and with the Ultimate Orb suggest probably going to be a Sheep Stick, a Scythe of Ice, or we go more super aggressive and buy a Scotty on him. Banana Slam Jamma's got a Scotty delayed at least another minute and a half. Only because of courier limitations. Rainbow Dashing. Ghost Scepter, nothing much else. God's Hand, he's got his blink, his Axe Scepter ready to go. Shea Doctor, looking at very low amounts of items. Has Ogre Staff, Blade Mail, Vanguard, but not quite much gold. Das Beardew again with a Hand of Midas, Aghanim Scepter ready to go. So the items are looking okay for the Justice League, but Leviathans are leagues ahead. Roshan spawning in about a minute now, and that'll be Leviathan's go-to to try to be aggressive again. Kinetic Field trying to go ahead and de-ward with that. They end up finding it on the other high ground though. The Gem of True Sight being very useful right here. And Ice Blast to Scout Roche, but not doing too much. 20 seconds before it's back up. And the rest of Leviathan make their way to the pit. They're just hanging by close. They want to have it ready. They don't want to lose a fight here. They don't want to lose Aegis. They don't want to give away anything right now. Sheepstick was completed, by the way, by Chibi. Going for the more defensive build here. Does give him a ton of damage, though. That Mystic Staff, being an in-hero, is very, very nice. 27 damage already, but also plenty of mana. You can see 2,200 in his mana pool. If only there was an anti-mage in this game, then things would hit the fan. Roshan dropping very quick, but Ice Blast flies through. It won't secure the last hit on the Roshan.
Roche won't be stomping around no more, thanks to the
that magic resistance and all, but it will catch everyone with that nice frosty debuff. And it drops Earthshaker very low, but not anywhere close to shattering. Meanwhile, top lane, it looks like Rainbow Dashing and Banana Slam Jamma want to try to make it go on the tower, but cannot quite find the room to do so. Scotty finally finished on a Banana Slam Jamma as the courier comes back to life. 1,300 gold on top of it, so not too much delayed by the courier, but not anything that he'd really want. And the group up from Leviathan, now that they've got Aegis, again, this gives them the wide open to try to make another aggressive onto the high ground. And only one Plague Ward is ready to go, so just as a cart with the pants down. And the tower should drop in suit.
Radiant structures must
A glyph of fortification popped, but not able to protect the tower. Can they get the racks at least? No, the racks are dropping too quickly. Shea Doctor makes his way in with the Blade Mail. Can it be enough? They pop the Ice Blast out, but it's going to be a miss on nearly everyone. They actually do, no, Shredder cleans up Shea Doctor. They're going to pop out a Poison Nova. BKB pop onto Jenkins Dota, a swap out from Banana Slam Jamma to try to keep him alive in the Doom, but Das Beardew will drop as well as Rainbow Dashing. And, well, 4 for 1. Earthshaker goes down to Venomancer, that Poison Nova doing its work. But that,
mid tower could use a hand.
I would imagine that's about it. Banana Slam Jamma cannot carry this game alone. The buyback on God's Hand won't do too much as Poison Nova down for 80 seconds. The racks are just gone.
Didn't make it. There goes the Radiant's mid-rack. Radiant's top tower is taking
Just
hits.
typing in chat right now because, I mean, what are we missing? Top lane is just going to drop here. Yeah, Banana Slam Jam makes his way in. They're going to glimpse him back. No Doom ready to go. Banana Slam Jam is just going to go ham on the Flying Zero. They've got the Hex. They bring him down. 110 seconds would mean the GG. Well played. 40 minutes, though. It felt like the game over at 20. Justice League constantly played the fighting game and went down, well, hate to be redundant, but went down the fighter. So definitely showing some heart and soul, but not quite enough to bring them the victory over the clear advantage that Leviathan had. Definitely an underdog, but not quite out of it. Justice League aren't doing too poorly right now. I can take a quick look at their stats on CEVO.com, and they are 1-3, so they at least have a win, and they got that one win on Team Forsaken, who's also doing fairly well right now. But Leviathan have an unstoppable run, as I think this game puts them 5-0. Probably, yeah, this game will bring them to 5-0, winning against some of the top teams in the league. Root has fallen to them, Forsaken. They are going to try to play, not today, but that is being rescheduled to another time, and they have to face Union and E-Hug in Week 5. So we're looking forward to that, but great games from both of them. Thanks for joining us tonight. Only one best of one tonight, which is rather odd, but a lot of teams had to find it difficult to play today, so we don't blame them. That's the end of it for the official CEVO week. We'll be back next week starting Sunday with more CEVO action, at least on the official side. Maybe we put up an unofficial game here or there, whether it be a reschedule or not. But thanks for watching, guys. We've been watching Chicago TEDcast this game at TEDcast on Twitter, as you can see in the top right-hand side of my screen. It's been a blast. We will catch you all next time.